यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय प्रभुपद शिल प्रभुपद निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे जयम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिवचरष्टक हिज डिवाइन एसी भक्ति विधान स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य बीपीटी फाउंडर आचार्य ऑफ द वर्ल्ड जगतगुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की जयम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिवचरष्टक हिज डिवाइन गए शिल भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर प्रभुपाद महाराज की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य शिल हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहिए श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की रजुमिश वृंदावन धाम की नवदीप मायापुर धाम की पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की गंगा माई यमुना माई की भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की श्री राधा माधव अष्टकी की श्री पंच तत्व की शिल प्रभुपाद की लक्ष्मी नरसिंह देव भगवान की निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे ऑल ग्लोरीज टू assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya Bhagavatir Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Hare Krishna. Reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, first canto, 9th chapter, verse number 16. The chapter titled The Passing Away of Bhīṣma Dev, verse 16. Verse is written on the board. Na hi asya karhachit rajan puman veda vidhisitam yadvigyasya yadvijigasyaya yukta muyanti kaviyo api hi nahi asya karhichit rajan puman veda vidhi sitam yadvijigyasaya yukta muyanti kaviyo apihi nahi asya karhichit rajan puman veda vidhitsitam yadvijigyasaya yukta muyanti kaviyo apihi nahi asya karhichit rajan puman veda vidhitsitam yadvijigyasaya yukta muyanti kaviyo apihi. Thank you. Word meanings, translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Na, never. He, certainly. Asya, his. karhe ched whatsoever. Rajan, O king, Puman, anyone, Veda knows, Vidit Sitam, plan, Yat, which, Vijigyasaya, with exhaustive inquiries, Yukta, being engaged, Muyanti, bewildered, Kavya, great philosophers, Api, even, he, certainly. Translation, please repeat. O king, no one can know the plan of the Lord Shri Krishna. Even though great philosophers inquire exhaustively, they are bewildered. Purport: the bewilderment of Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira over his past sinful acts and the resultant sufferings, etc., is completely negated by the great authority Bhīṣma, one of the 12 authorized persons. Bhīṣma wanted to impress upon Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira that since time immemorial, no one, including such demigods as Śiva and Brahmā, could ascertain the real plan of the Lord. So what can we understand about it? It is useless also to inquire about it. Even the exhaustive philosophical inquiries of sages cannot ascertain the plan of the Lord. The best policy is simply to abide by the orders of the Lord without argument. The suffering of the Pandavas were never due to their past deeds. The Lord had to execute the plan of establishing the kingdom of virtue, and therefore his own devotees suffered temporarily in order to establish the conquest of virtue. Bhīṣma Dev was certainly satisfied by seeing the triumph of virtue, and he was glad to see King Yudhiṣṭhira on the throne, although he himself fought against him. Even a great fighter like Bhīṣma could not win the battle of Kurukshetra, because the Lord wanted to show that vice cannot conquer virtue, regardless of who tries to execute it. Bhīṣma Dev was a great devotee of the Lord, but he chose to fight against the Pandavas by the will of the Lord, because the Lord wanted to show that a fighter like Bhīṣma cannot win on the wrong side. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanam Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sopadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sanjeevam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitanscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namastute. Apta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataru Briksha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namam Vishnu Padaya कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. Hare Krishna. So we are reading from Bhagavatam 1st Canto 9 chapter verse number 16. As most of you are aware of the pastime which is happening, the whole battle of Kurukshetra has ended now, and Yudhiṣṭhira is being crowned as the king, but like he is bewildered. He is lamenting that because of me, so many, it's a massacre just because of me. A devotee thinks like that. It's like a bewilderment of a Yudhiṣṭhira is like a soft heart of a devotee. Just like we see Arjun was also bewildered apparently in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, that how can I fight? All this Bhīṣma is standing, Drona is standing, how can I fight with them? So similarly, Yudhiṣṭhira is also bewildered here, lamenting that that I will have to, like because of me so many fight is being done, so much blood is being shed. So that's a soft heart of like devotee. Devotees like generally devotees see that goes whenever something external things happen, those who are shallow, they point fingers, blame each other, and those who are devotees, generally practicing devotees, they just go deep inside, like what I could have done better. They just introspect in that way. So here Yudhiṣṭhira is thinking that okay, for me all this thing happened. Then he is brought to Bhīṣma. Surprisingly, everybody tried to pacify Yudhiṣṭhira. Everybody tried to pacify it. Even Ved Vyas, who wrote Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, he tried to pacify it, it is being said. Then Lord Krishna himself was present. But then it is being said in the previous shlokas that because of the divine will of Krishna, even if he himself was trying to pacify Yudhiṣṭhira, Yudhiṣṭhira was not getting pacified, because Krishna is inside out. So outside Krishna is trying to pacify Yudhiṣṭhira, but inside Yudhiṣṭhira is not getting pacified, just because Krishna wanted to glorify Bhīṣma. So Bhīṣma was like in a way, like he was a hero in the, like one of the heroes in the battle of Kurukshetra in the whole Mahabharata. But he was always like, it's like a question which everybody asks in Mahabharata, like why did Bhīṣma is one of the Mahajan, but why did he took side of the Duryodhana and party? So Krishna, just to like glorify Bhīṣma's silent devotion. Bhīṣma was is a Mahajan. He was a Mahajan, and then he was but like a silent devotion. So many times we do devotional service, we think that whether Krishna will recognize or not recognize. This pastime is very much encouraging. Bhīṣma apparently being seen, he is on the side of the Duryodhana and party, on the side of the vice. But but like his internal devotion to Krishna was in fact like more of like a not very much shown in a way, like but here we see that how Krishna is reciprocating with his like internal prayers and with his internal devotion. Yes, so Prabhupada here like writes a very wonderful translation. O King, no one can know the plan of the Lord Shri Krishna. Even though great philosophers inquire exhaustively, they are bewildered. So when Bhīṣma saw on the bed of the arrows that Yudhiṣṭhira is coming and everybody is coming, and then so he just like to encourage, he could know the mind of the Yudhiṣṭhira. So he just said that no one can know the plan of the Lord Shri Krishna. Even though great philosophers inquire exhaustively, they are bewildered. So he is addressing Yudhiṣṭhira as king, because he just wanted to see him as the king. Why? Because Krishna wanted to see Yudhiṣṭhira as a king. So So Bhishma's desires were like internal desires were inclined with the will of the Lord, but externally he had to play this role of being on the side of the villains in one way. And we also see like Srila Prabhupada writes in the last line of the paragraph, Bhishma was a great devotee of the Lord, but he chose to fight against the Pandavas by the will of the Lord, because the Lord wanted to show that a fighter like Bhishma cannot win on the wrong side. So Krishna, through one of the acts, does lot of things. That is the beauty of Krishna. I mean, for one pastime, we can ascertain so many reasons. We can see so many reasons, and especially by the mercy of the previous acharyas, we can have so many reasons and understanding of the one pastime. Like one is okay, what is the internal motive of Krishna behind that pastime? Second is, what is the teaching for the general mass of the people from that pastime? And third is, if we go even further inside, that what is the internal teaching for a sadhaka for that pastime. So here it was the will of the Lord that Bhishma chose to fight against the Pandavas. It's because Krishna wanted to teach to the world that even a great fighter like Bhishma cannot win on the wrong side. This principle of yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata, that whenever there is a need of a religion in the world, then Krishna himself incarnates. So Krishna came to establish the religion, the true dharma of the living entity. And even if Bhishma is on the wrong side, even a great fighter like Bhishma who is on the wrong side, but still dharma will win. Real dharma will win. So to establish that, Krishna, by the will of Krishna, Bhishma took that side. So in the purport it is also written that Bhishma wanted to impress upon Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira that since time immemorial, no one, including such demigods as Shiva and Brahmā, could ascertain the real plan of the Lord. So what can we understand about it? So seeing the whole Mahabharata from the plan of the Lord, it reconciles everything. It reconciles everything. Okay, it's the plan of the Lord. Just 2-3 words. It's the plan of the Lord. It reconciles everything. All apparent contradictions and all apparent whatever there may be conflicts may be there. All conflicts are being reconciled by the simple 3-4 words. Is the plan of the Lord. Especially in the devotee's life, in the life of a devotee and then the devotee community, and these simple words, it's a plan of the Lord, it's a plan of the higher authorities. It reconciles everything. So we see many times the conflict between Prithu and Indra over the 1,000 horse sacrifices, and so there it was conflict going on. Indra was again and again coming in the form of the sannyasi, in the form of the pseudo sannyasi, and stealing the horse from the sacrifice. But then when Brahma came, and then it was clarified that okay, Lord desired this, then everything finished. Lord desired this, everything finished. Similarly, if we see the many pastimes, this is the concluding words. Krishna desires it, so devotee also desires that thing. Anukulena Krishna, Anukulena Krishna Sambandha. So being in the favorably inclined to Krishna. So that is what is devotional service means, to abide by the will of the Lord. And here also we see that in the life of Srila Prabhupada, especially when I was reading it, of course by the mercy of Bhagavatam, and it just came to my heart, the life of the Srila Prabhupada. If we see the life of the Srila Prabhupada, then how, so many things he got so many reversals. So many things which cannot be explained by the intellect of a person. Why does Krishna does this? Srila Prabhupada, he was in a household life earlier as Abhay Babu, and then he got initiated, and then he wrote Bhagavad Gita commentary. but the whole Bhagavad Gita commentary was being stolen. If it would have been some ordinary devotee, he would have taught that maybe Krishna doesn't want Bhagavad Gita's purpose. So therefore, like, it is being stolen. Of course, everything happens by the will of the Lord. So he may have like what do you say, like, I mean, like deduced that incident in such a way that, okay, Krishna doesn't want preaching to happen. That's why there are so many obstacles. Maybe this is not the right time for preaching. So many like conclusions one can reach an ordinary devotee. But Srila Prabhupada was not an ordinary devotee. He was showing through his personal example the determination in Krishna consciousness, and especially he was embodiment of the Bhagavad Gita principle, like Deva Sayatmika Buddhi Ekaha Kuru Nandana. He just like inclined his whole like consciousness and his whole like intellect, everything, with the will of his spiritual master, that you are an educated young man, why don't you preach, why don't you give this message of Lord Chaitanya to the world? So he was inclined to that. And then when he saw that all this thing is happening, so he just, of course there were so many reversals, he became apparently discouraged, but he didn't give up. So then Srila Prabhupada tried to like establish like in the League of Devotees in the Jhansi, and he was cheated there by that like ladies sangha, and who just tried to acquire that property. And then his whole like business was being ruined. Now if Srila Prabhupada didn't waste the time arguing with the Lord, this like it's, so therefore it's like saying it's useless to inquire. So what can one understand about it? We cannot argue with the Lord in that way, or rather we say, okay, we are not arguing, but internally we become resistant to the will of the Lord. If there is something happening, for example, if Krishna is doing something with our life, so if we cannot argue with him like personally, then we become internally resistant, that I will not do this thing, I will not do this thing. Why Krishna is doing this thing to me? But Srila Prabhupada took everything as a sweet will of the Lord. Like here Srila Prabhupada is stating, it is useless also to inquire about it, that what is the plan of the Lord. Even the exhaustive philosophical inquiries of sages cannot ascertain the plan of the Lord. So what should we do? The best policy is simply to abide by the orders of the Lord without argument. So Srila Prabhupada didn't waste his time, and he followed the best policy. At this point, it's Krishna's plan, so he was malleable. He just like adopted. He was flexible to adopt according to the plan of the Lord. In Srila Prabhupada's life we see. And then when finally by all the tests, trial, tribulations, when he was given the ticket to America, then also in the beginning 1 year there was not much success. Still he kept on like aligning himself to the will of the Lord, connecting to the Lord. Like, what does Krishna wants? What does Krishna wants to teach me at this point of time? Srila Prabhupada took lessons from each and every incident. He saw the League of Devotees, that how he got cheated there in the legal formalities. So whenever he learned a lesson there, so whenever he acquired any property after establishment of ISKCON, he was particularly very much careful regarding the legalities of the property. He would take himself personal care and make sure that his trusted devotees, his trusted servants, get that property legally registered, or get the institution legally registered. So Srila Prabhupada took lessons from the League of Devotees of Jhansi. Srila Prabhupada took lessons from the stealing of the manuscript of the when his wife stole of the manuscript of the Bhagavad Gita. Srila Prabhupada took lessons at each and every step, and then aligned with the will of the Lord and moved forward in his mission, being open to all the possibilities and all all the different and tricky way of in which Krishna sometimes does the work. He writes in the poem, Tabayadi tora kripa haibe ahetu ki sakalai sambhav ho tumi se kautuki bado kripa kaila Krishna adhamera pati. He writes in this song that if I will get a speck of the mercy of you, then everything is possible. Why? Because tumi se kautuki. Krishna gives mercy, but he gives mercy sometimes in a very tricky way. Krishna is very playful. Krishna can do the sometimes things very, very straight. But then he likes to do sometimes things in a tricky and playful way. For example, he came like for the Draupadi when she was at the verge of, when she was most vulnerable, at that time he came. She was calling Krishna, but he didn't came early. But when she was just most vulnerable, then he came in the form of the cloth. And then in the form of Gajendra, when he was on the verge of just like leaving the body, then Krishna came riding on the Garuda. So Krishna is like that. Krishna is little playful. So Krishna in that way, and of course Krishna likes to play with his devotee. Krishna like with whom Krishna will play then. So seeing the life of Srila Prabhupada, how Krishna, first of all, Prabhupada himself told that Krishna just like that did two things to me. At one time, he just took away everything from me. Srila Prabhupada was struggling like anything. He didn't even had a decent 2 pair of dhoti kurta. And he was asking the Gaudiya Math leaders that can I have a decent pair of dhoti kurta? And he just saw such a poverty, Srila Prabhupada. I mean, of course, he was so successful, the pharmaceutical business tycoon of his time. But still, I mean, Krishna took away everything. And then when Krishna, then Srila Prabhupada recollects. And then when Krishna came to giving him, then Krishna gave him everything. So Srila Prabhupada was reiterating this thing and remembering that how his own father, Gaur Mohan, they used to say that God has 11 hands. If he wants to take away anything, what can you protect with your 2 hands? And if he wants to give you everything, then what can you hold with your 2 hands? So that is being like malleable to the will of the Lord. And then Srila Prabhupada, Krishna gave Srila Prabhupada everything. And Srila Prabhupada kept on like adapting to the will of the Lord. Often many times when we with our material intelligence just look back and just see how this Krishna conscious movement spread on this planet in the with the vehicle of ISKCON. So we see that from 1966 to 69 this thing happened, that thing happened. But like it was all being orchestrated by the sweet will of the Krishna. It was all being orchestrated by the sweet plan of the Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada is in fact bold enough to say that in the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam, in the purports, that the Krishna has taken shelter in the womb of this Krishna consciousness movement. Krishna in the form of holy name has taken shelter in the womb of this Krishna consciousness movement. Srila Prabhupada is bold enough to say this purport. And Srila Prabhupada that how this whole, he says it multiple times, that how this whole movement is being like product of the Krishna's plan. So here Srila Prabhupada further, so the best policy is simply to abide by the orders of the Lord without argument. Of course, it takes courage. And at those moments, we require the mercy of the Guru, Sadhu, Vaishnavas. Guru and Vaishnavas. It requires courage to be malleable. It requires lot of internal surrender. And at that time, we need all these devotees to help us to align us to the will of the Lord. Therefore, Guru Sadhu Shastra is always required in this movement, is always required in the life of a devotee. If a person will be alone, then what can he know? Then naturally his own internal defense mechanism will come. Defense mechanism, from time immemorial, we are being addicted to enjoying this material sense gratification. And whenever anything happens which is not in alignment to my sense gratification, then immediately, like our whole body, our whole psyche, our whole internal everything, like false ego, revolts like anything, and it cries like a baby. Why Krishna is doing this thing to me? Why this devotee is doing this thing to me? Why this temple president is doing this to me? Why this particular devotee is doing this thing to me? So anything we can shout, anything we can, false ego can rebel over anything and everything. Why this devotee is taking away these facilities from me? Why Krishna is taking away this facility from me? So this false ego cries like a baby. So so this is so if we are alone, then our false ego will revolt, our internal psyche will revolt, our body will revolt, because it is addicted to sense gratification. So at that time we need the shelter of the devotees, and this is the lifelong practice which every devotee has to go. After all, Srila Prabhupada told it very clearly, everybody has to fly his own plane. Every person has to do it for himself only. For example, Daiva Simha has to do it for the Daiva Simha. Nobody else can do it for the Daiva Simha. This internal surrender to the Krishna. And similarly, you can also say it in your own first language, that I will have to take this own internal step-by-step surrender to Krishna, aligning myself to the will of the Lord. That is surrender. That is Shanagati. And Srila Prabhupada further writes in the purpose, coming to the next point, the suffering of the Pandavas were never due to their past misdeeds. The Lord had to execute the plan of establishing the kingdom of virtue, and therefore his own devotees suffered temporarily in order to establish the conquest of virtue. So, the suffering of the Pandavas were never due to their past misdeeds. So, it is useless to give explanation that Pandavas did this thing, and then they are suffering. Of course, this can be one angle of viewing. For example, as I told earlier, that every pastime can be seen from the different directions. And we, in particular in the Gaudiya Vaishnavism line of Lord Chaitanya, and we particularly in the following Srila Prabhupada Bhakti Vedanta purports. These are the Bhakti Vedanta purports. So Bhakti Vedanta purports means everything has a everything has a flavor of bhakti. Every purport has a flavor of bhakti. They are not directing towards the karma, they are not directing towards the gyan, they are not directing towards the logic, they are not directing towards the any of the other explanation, but they are directing towards the bhakti. That is the meaning of Bhakti Vedanta purports. So Srila Prabhupada, particularly here, Srila Prabhupada is giving the Bhakti Vedanta purport. What is the Bhakti Vedanta purport? The suffering of the Pandavas were never due to their past deeds. This is the Bhakti Vedanta purport. If you may read Śrīmad Bhāgavatam from Gita, from any of the other publications, then you may find that they may give some other understanding, or some scholars may give some other understanding, that that Pandavas suffering were because of this thing, they did this thing, and it is coming back. Of course, that can be true. In the absolute realm, both things can be true. A thing can be viewed from so many angles. So therefore, both that can be true. But we are focusing our attention towards Bhakti Vedanta purpose, that the Pandavas suffering were never due to their past deeds. That's it. And similarly, Srila Prabhupada sometimes while quoting the famous shloka Tatya Anukampa Susumakshamana, which appears in the 10th canto, 14th chapter of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, the prayers of Brahma, that a devotee who pays obeisances to the Lord with his heart, mind, senses, body, and at the same time suffering the results of his past misdeeds, is the rightful has a rightful claim or as a rightful heir to the spiritual world because of his attitude towards, because of his attitude, something like that. But I am just paraphrasing. So there, that means, like, first of all, if somebody is having reversals, then a devotee thinks this is because of the past misdeeds. So devotee is naturally humble, so devotee thinks like that, and so it's because of my past misdeeds. At the same time, he doesn't develop grudgy feeling towards Krishna. I have been chanting for so many years, I have been doing so many services, then why these past misdeeds are coming? Rather, he is like offering obeisances to the Lord with the body, mind, words, and with his heart, of course. And with his heart, which is the most difficult thing to do in such testing circumstances. So then it is being said that then the liberation becomes the rightful claim to the devotee. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in this purport that a devotee actually has no past misdeeds left. The moment he surrenders to Krishna, all his past karma is vanquished, a devotee's. So then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur quotes that, Vishwanath Chakravarti explains that whatever suffering devotees is going through, that is the customized, tailor-made plan of Krishna to bring that devotee back to him. Because Krishna, residing inside the heart and being the active principle of the whole cosmic manifestation and material and spiritual worlds, knows exactly how a devotee is addicted towards sense gratification, how a devotee is attached to the material world. Krishna knows it just like that, very precisely, very completely. And Krishna is never mistaken because he is aparushaya. So Krishna designs the devotee's life in such a way that it gradually bring him close to him. At other place, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also says that Krishna, in one of the commentary, that Krishna is like a transcendental aristocratic jealous lover. That Krishna is like a lover, and he wants to bring transcendental aristocratic jealous lover. So Krishna is like a lover, and Krishna just brings his beloved to him. And Krishna slowly, like takes away all the shelters, false shelters in which devotee is investing his consciousness, and then Krishna brings him to the point where he can actually, his devotee can actually surrender to the Krishna completely. So Krishna just devises it in that way. So as per Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, that this sufferings are actually some plan of the Krishna. Krishna wants to teach something, and therefore Krishna orchestrates the life of a devotee in that way. And for whom does Krishna does these things particularly? Krishna says, Chaitanya says in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna kahe ami bhaje mange vishay sukh, amrit chari vishay mange ei bara murkh, ami vigya ei murkh vishay ke na diba, swacharna amrit diya vishay bhulaya. So Chaitanya explains that when does Krishna does all these things, playing with the devotee's life, when Krishna sees he is worshipping me, he is chanting Hare Krishna, he is reading Bhagavatam, he is reading Bhaktivedanta purports, he is doing so much thing, and then he is also asking for some Vishesuk, some nice car, some nice like bungalow, or some like nice some nice partner, or maybe some nice foodstuffs, whatever may be, or fame, prestige, whatever. And so Amrit Chari Vishya Mange E Bara Murkh, there is so much nectar available, and this foolish fool is asking for poison. So he is fool, but I am not fool, Krishna says. He may be fool, but I am not fool. Ami Vigya, I am intelligent, he may be fool. How can I give poison to this person, this devotee? So I will give my Swacharnamridya, I will give the nectar of my lotus feet, and let all the memories of this Vishaya, this sense gratification, go away. This is how Krishna reciprocates with the desires of the devotee. So the world sees the external, world judges us by the external things, but Krishna sees the things in totality. Krishna sees external and internal both. That is the beauty. That's why he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Krishna just sees the totality of everything, just like Krishna saw the totality of the Bhīṣma Dev. Somebody else may criticize Bhīṣma that he was so learned, he was Mahajan, and then why did he did all this thing? Why did he not speak in the assembly where Draupadi was being made, was being practically raped, or like why did he didn't spoke? World may criticize Bhīṣma, but Krishna sees internal, external in toto. So that is the beauty, and so Krishna does whatever to the life of a devotee. So that's the sweet will of Krishna, and that is what is meant by the love. Ours is the process of the loving devotional service. So love means what? In the happiness of a beloved. So in this way, Krishna does these things with the devotee, these things. So that's the meaning of surrender, that's the meaning of the loving devotional service. To become malleable to the plan of the Lord. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Although time is over, any questions? Or any comments? Any feedback? Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।